Hey everybody out there on the internet, it's me, the Roller Geezer. Uh, my ribs are still hurting a little bit from my 40th birthday party because honestly, it's not a birthday party until you break something. I broke myself. But it's also raining outside, it's not good weather, so figured I gotta fill in the time somehow. So I decided to try something that I saw Mushroom Blading do, which is commentary on old school videos, but I decided to do a little bit of a tweak to it. Uh, when I first started skating, I picked up the camera for the first time and started filming things. I wasn't really big into camera work before that, but shortly after I started skating, I bought myself a camera, the latest thing, which was Mini DV at the time, and I don't even remember the name of the program that came with it, but I had done little edits here and there, but this was my first big project back when I lived in Tucson, Arizona. Well, Tucson's the next biggest town. Sierra Vista is where it was. But this was the first, I guess you could say, feature-length skate video that I had created with my friends. And so we're going to sit here, watch it. I'm going to say some things about it. It's going to be cringingly embarrassing, but who knows? Might just be fun to talk about the memories that I have with it. So, it's so old that I have it on. I actually converted it to DVD. It used to be on VHS, but I converted it to DVD, and it's on my PlayStation 2 right now. For those of you who are unfamiliar, I'm a very big video game aficionado, so hopefully this works. So, let's see how this goes. Oh, God. I have not watched this video in ages. I uploaded it to YouTube back in the day when you can only do like 5-minute videos at a time. And so I divvied it up according to section, and musical rights got in the way for a couple things, so hopefully I can watch this at a somewhat muted level, and won't be too bad. Oh, my first title that I ever did. Scrolling. Can't even spell videotape right. It's equipped with nothing. That's actually something that I got from Joe Navron, and this whole thing about the copyright thing on videotapes back then. And SV Rollers, that's just Sierra Vista, where we were from. And I still can't get rid of the fact that I had named the production group as Nowhere Productions, and I eventually moved on to Backwoods because that's where I was living at the time, because I thought Sierra Vista was nowhere. Oh, yes, because I thought Pink Floyd would be a good idea because, again, I just watched Coup d'etat, and that was big influence in my video editing at that time. So you got a couple pictures of the guys. Gotta love Mini DV when it screws up like this, because this is what you end up getting. So, oh God, there's me with glasses. My friend White Mike. God, scary thing about all this now, when you look back at it, because this is going on 20 years ago now. A lot of these guys are parents. They're fathers. It's like you look at them back then, it's like, really? Oh, oof. That haircut. Yeah, at the same time that I was filming this, I was also still in the military. I'm still active in the United States Army, and so it was kind of wild. Like, I would be on duty, and then as soon as I get off duty and get off post, I'd be skating. And so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this video that you're going to be able to, if you know your skate history around 2000, 1999, there's a lot of stuff that I kind of lift from other skate videos because I needed some sort of inspiration. Oh yes, first section, David Gunkel. Dave was one of the first guys I started skating with in Sierra Vista. Don't know where he is now. I think he still lives in the Sierra Vista, Tucson area. And we probably worked on this video a good 6 months. And the one thing I remember specifically about Dave, he loved Dustin Latimer. And he modeled everything. I mean, as you can see here, he looked kind of like a smaller version of Dustin. But he was a fun guy to be with. He was great. He's a great skater. Canyon del Oro in Tucson. That was a famous skate spot thanks to Brain Fear Gone with their little conversation at the end. Mercy. One thing I do miss about being in that small town, there were a lot of great schools to skate, including this one, because that bench had metal angle iron on it, which was just begging to be skated, and we obliged. Kind of wish I remember the name of that place. Something Meadows. I can't remember the name of it. Bet if I looked on Google Maps, I'd find it and be like, yeah. The song is Perfect Circle. It's actually the one thing that I did when I did the editing is I asked the guys what song would they prefer, and Dave had a thing for Perfect Circle at the time. I think Perfect Circle had just come out because Maynard Jane Keenan just started this new project, so he really wanted this song. David had the best True Mizus I've ever seen. Funny thing about this school, Smith Junior, I think is what it was, Smith Junior High. It was a school on post that was right across the street from the skate park. We actually had a skate park on post. In fact, that's how I, learned about this kind of skating. And oh yes, the infamous Dave Gunkel run. You can tell Brain Fear Gone had just come out, and Dave really wanted it. And I really don't know what I was thinking when I decided to transfer to Sepia Tone. But he wanted to end his section like Dustin Latimer. So he didn't go through the whole school, but he went through a good chunk of it so that he could do a line just like Latimer. Oh, these two. Mike Longoria and Josh Lopez. Okay, I don't remember the name of this song, but I do remember that the way I got it from them, the skate park was attached to the youth center on post. So those of you who don't know anything about military posts, that's still crazy. They have this thing called MWR, which stands for Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. And they have this youth center for all the children, all the dependents to go to and do things. Oh, jeez. Harrison Steel Elementary, that school is gone. Mike stole this CD from the youth center so that he could get it, because this is before. He didn't know how to use Napster back then, because Napster was the thing that you normally do, but he didn't know how to do it, so he just stole the CD from the place. Wow. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is around Sierra Vista. There is a lot from Tucson, not a lot from Phoenix. I think we only went to Phoenix once or twice. I think we only went to Phoenix once, because Phoenix was like a 3-hour trip. Everything else that looks bigger, like that's the University of Arizona in Tucson. But yeah, we pushed each other pretty hard. That's one thing I did enjoy about this group. We really pushed, and it was like a friendly competition. Oh God, that's Bisbee. I have so many stories about Bisbee, but I don't want to run at the mouth about him. But there's some interesting stories. I'll try to remember the story about Bisbee. But yeah. Woo. Yeah, a lot of good stuff just around town. That's one thing about the West Coast I kind of miss. Oh my God, there's my old truck. I had an '84 Ford Ranger that I drove across the coast, or cross country and up and down both coasts before it died on me when I was in college. Don't ask me why I had that filter on there and why he thought he had to be a thug. Oh man. Oh yeah, back when they were gapping over I don't even know how we got in there. And of course, Mike couldn't just let Dave have his thing. He had to try it too. Funny thing about that rail, that's a bike rack. I know it doesn't look like it would be, but it's a bike rack. So we ended up having two things like this where Dave and Mike both did pretty much the same thing. In their own little weird ways, I guess they had to have their lines. Like I said, that was a big thing because Brain Fear gone, Latimer was doing lines all over the place. Oh yeah, Josh did the fish brain down the Harrison Seal Elementary rail, which is also a rail from Brain Fear gone. Most of this friends section is guys we knew either in Sierra Vista, mainly a lot of guys from Tucson, but also the guys gave me crap for this because I had never heard of it. Our friend Dan Dillabaugh, he, which is this guy right here, most of this section is him interspersed with friends. And they're like, why didn't you do a mini view? And I had never heard of a mini view, so I didn't know what I was doing. Don't know why I thought slow motion would be a good idea, but I did it. Oh, that was my army buddy from South Carolina. I wish I could remember his name. He was an old school skater back when this was not even considered old school. And Dan could rock the K2s like no one's business. That sweat stance is down on lock. Oh, that was our friend Tom. Tom had the worst luck. You'll see it in the credits. Oh, that's right. Tucson's... Okay, I don't know if this is a thing everywhere else, but everybody has, like, their safety trick. Like, when I lived in Somerset, everybody's safety trick was the porn star. When I lived in Arizona, everybody's safety trick was the Mizu, which I don't understand, but whatever. Oh, man. Some of these guys, I just wonder what happened to them, but, I mean, good God, an in-spin, top acid. Funny. Oh, God. He's actually, that guy, Nathan, I think his name was Nate. Nate was originally from the Midwest, I think around Kansas, somewhere in Kansas, or Indiana. And he was actually a videographer. He did a couple of videos that were actually distributed, and I can't remember for the life of me what their names were. I do remember that one of them had a section with Dustin Murphy in it, but yeah. Oh, there's Tom, knocking out a kind grind, looking stylish. Yeah, Dan killed it all the time. Oh, this is Dustin Murphy. And those were what we called the MI rails, because military intelligence was taught in those buildings, but those rails were just so low and so beautiful. Just fun. I'll never get how the hell he did that. So crazy. Such good stuff. Just in that spot, which is in Sonora, I think. Dan Dan never really got to come out too much with us because he was the skate guard at the skate park on post, and so he never got to skate street with us often. But when we went to that school, which was literally in the middle of nowhere, it's in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know how we thought it would be out there and be any good, but we went there. He went there and destroyed it. It was just the wildest thing. And then he pulled this trick. And of course, my friend Curtis had to go and hump the rail because that's what you do. Wow. Okay, so this is going to be so cringeworthy for me. This is my very first section ever. I maybe have like 4 months of skating in my down at this point. So it's going to be a lot of sidewalks and a lot of ugliness. I don't even know why I did that, to tell you the truth. Because it just looks so awful. But, oh. So, okay, if you don't know music very well, this song is called Penny on the Floor by the Clarks. They're a Pittsburgh band, and when I was younger and more naive, being away from Pittsburgh, I wanted to try to have a lot of Pittsburgh-related stuff. So, I had, this is a Pittsburgh band. You'll notice my skates are Pittsburgh colors, which is black and yellow. My second pair of skates ever were from my Razors, John Elliott's, because I had Solomon STH with my first pair, and I pretty much beat those down pretty quick because I had no idea what I was doing. And then I got these ugly switch ups. Oh mercy, this is a little rough to watch, but it's good memories. When I was trying to do in spins. Oh, wow. And that was a 10 stair. I mean, only a couple months in and I'm already doing 10 stair rails. But again, it's because I had these guys who pushed me. And my skating was garbage. But again, only a couple months in and this is what I'm doing. So, I can't feel awful. Oh, mercy. That was in Douglas, Arizona. Like, literally, right across the street from that was the Mexican border. Oh, Fiction clothing. And I remember those jeans, too. Those were, Bugle Boy 7Ms. Which I was getting those for pennies on the dollar back then. Wow. That's Bisbee, Arizona again. The funny thing about Bisbee, we got stopped by the police in Bisbee, and I thought, oh great, we're going to get busted. No. They said, why are you skating here? There's better stuff up the road. And sure enough, it was true. Like, that's what I loved about Bisbee. They honestly did not care. So awesome. Not like what I had when I got back to the East Coast, I'll tell you that much. Oh, yeah. What was this? Oh, this was the new Bisbee High School. And we were skating there, Curtis and I. Bisbee had some good stuff. Oh, yeah, the First Mind Game shirts. So ugly. So ugly. But, you gotta start somewhere. I think this was one of the first rails I had ever done, and I think the guys were like, oh my god, you did it! Because I had learned at the University of Arizona how to grind a rail. Oh god, I was singing at that point. Wow. And I actually tried to backslide. And my first real switch up right here is how I ended it. My ugly sidewalk. Actually, that's more of a boardwalk because it was supposedly topside to a backside. Oh yeah, now the fall section. And the and for whatever reason, well, the original song "California Dreamin'" is got some weird stereo to it. So I would lose every time I would transfer this from the computer to the VHS. I would lose one channel, and it bummed me out. And then I dump on the ground. Wow. That's when Eric hit the ground. What was I thinking? And I never know what Curtis was thinking there. God, we hit hard. I forgot. I was so stoked that I was hitting that rail. And it was never a big rail. But I got jacked up there and I was still stoked. I got up like nothing had happened. I don't know if I've ever done that ever since, because like the juice was flowing that night from getting jacked up so hard. I didn't feel it. Oh man. I don't understand why some of these things are filtered. There must have been something I had done in the transfer, like from the previous work, because it just did not translate well. But yeah, the way I modeled, in fact, now I remember it distinctly. The way that I modeled, oh Tom. Yeah, that was such a good fall, and I screwed it up with a filter. The way I modeled this whole video was after Brain Fear Gone. So that's why the sections are the way that they are. Like, I have the whole layout exactly like Brain Fear Gone. Oh, that's right, because the camera had these settings. I forgot that back then the cameras actually had those stupid filters like Instagram does now. But it's like, it really jacks stuff up, and I don't know why people thought it was a good idea. Oh, Kurt, you took it good. You alright? He was so punk rock. Curtis? Okay. Curtis still lives in Arizona. He also happened to be one of my superior officer's sons, and so there was a weird dynamic with him, his father, and I in the military, and it got ugly. I'm not going to go into details about it, but his father liked me, but the rest of the units were scared about that because you shouldn't be, that's considered fraternization, but whatever. But, Kurt was also one of the first guys I started skating with. Kurt was so good and skated so fast. And he went through skates so often. I remember when he had his Razor skates. I think they may have been the original creams, or even flats. I think they were flats. He fell in love with Farfignugens and Back Royales, and he actually grinded through the frame and hit the boot. Like he was doing something, and he just went straight through it, and it was like, oh my God, you did it. And the scarier thing was, he was good. But he got great at skating the moment he discovered how to soul on a rail. Like, he could soul, but only a little bit. But once he discovered how to soul on the rail, like, everything opened up to him. And you can see it in this video where he changed that. Because you just see it. And the funny thing about, like I said earlier, that Gunkel had modeled his skating after Latimer. Kurt modeled his skating after John Elliott. Because, I mean, Mind Game back then, Mind Game still, I don't care what anybody says, so influential even today that, I mean, you can already see what it's doing to skaters, like right here. Like, this is the day that he actually figured out souls, and that's what he started doing. Just didn't care, just hucked himself. That was my only main concern was like the day I'd have to take him home to his dad and he'd be all broken. I was like, I don't want to be here for this. So, yeah, Kurt had this attitude. This was the spot that the police in Bisbee took us to. Said, go here and skate this. I'm like, okay. Oh, Kurt also didn't pick his own music. It was one of the only times he's like, just pick something hard rock and go with it. And I was like, okay. So I went with Tool. It seemed to make sense to me. Don't ask where that plywood came from. Oh, the barracks that I lived in. Yeah, the day he discovered souls, it was over. So he just started destroying everything, like this rail. He murdered. Just like, okay, you just did that. I'd never seen him do that anywhere else before. Bisbee Courthouse. As soon as he figured it out, that's still awesome. And that's crazy because that's up against another rail. And he just does that. Wow. Just skated. I remember when I premiered this video to the guys. They were so stoked on it. Like they were all excited for each part. But I mean, after Kurt's part dropped, like they were like, "Oh my God, this is so awesome!" In fact, I remember specifically, we had to watch it again, and they were asking like, "Where's our copies?" I was like, "Oh, it takes me time." That was the worst angle for that because that was such a good 540. Oh, so good. He did that. Second try? That was at the mall at Tucson.
Oh my God!
Ah, Tom. Tom always had the worst luck with everything. Oh, mercy. Don't ask what I was doing there. I had a yellow shirt? When did I ever have a yellow shirt? And I figured this would be an appropriate song because I think at the time, I think this was like 2 years after this song had come out. Oh yeah, somebody actually had a mystery machine on post. That was actually there. I don't know why it was laying there, but they found it. I think Curtis might have only been 15 at this point, maybe 16. Yeah, that's the kind of, like, that's Kurt's skates. Like, he would just, oh, he did a gap and destroyed his skates. Like, he broke axles. Oh, yes. 1999. Dan was huge into the rave scene, as you can tell. And then here comes White Mike just trying to be cool. Oh, that's right. That was the weekend we found... Okay, so at Canyon del Oro School, one of the vending machines was open for whatever reason, and They raided them. They took all the soda out of the thing, so we just had all this soda just sitting in the back of in the trunks of our car. Like 3 vending machines are just wide open. Oh, I thought it'd be funny to chase ducks because I'm stupid. Oh yes, and it does snow out in the desert. Here's evidence. Sierra Vista Park, which now actually has things in it as opposed to what it did back then. Oh, Tom, you were so close, bro. I was so hoping that he would do it. Never did. I saved his butt there. He was like, what the hell? And I was like, dude. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. And for whatever reason, Dave had a thing about my BCGs that I got when I first got into service. He liked wearing them for reasons that escaped me. And there was this homeless guy who kept on saying that the 80s were way crazier and people like he flipped over cars and stuff on roller skates. So weird. It was a weird conversation. I don't know why I filmed it either, because... And you can't even understand it over the music. Like I said, first video piece, had no clue. Don't ask me what Kurt was doing at this point, because he wasn't high. He just lost his mind on occasion, and he would just do things like this. I don't even know. I'm driving, and one of them pulled the camera out and because he was rattling on, and I think Mike filmed this while I'm driving. That's so stupid. But yeah, I don't think there's anything after the fact. And that was my first, that was my first video that I had put together. Oh, it's going to go into, well, cut that off because that's about to go into Brain Fear Gone. Yeah, that was my first skate video that I ever put together, and I don't know, if you liked it, cool. If not, whatever. It's 20 years old. I'm not expecting it to be great now. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens if you like it. I've got a bunch more of these. 6, I think. Like 5 or 6 other ones of these that I made. Not in Arizona. This is the only Arizona one I did. But if you like this stuff, cool. Maybe if you want to see more of it, I'd do it. You know, depending on the way the weather gets, how I feel with my ribs and that. Like I say, hopefully I'll be able to rightfully review my new shadows when I'm feeling 100%, which is pretty close to 95%. But like I said, I ain't risking it with this weather because it's wet, and so that's not going to happen right now. So, you know all the deals. I also have an Instagram now. It's Roller Geezer. So if you want to follow that stuff, because I'm going to post a lot of junk related to, this stuff and some other stuff that I do. So don't be alarmed if you see other things on there that's not skating related, but it might happen. So till next time, kiddies, toodles.